going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where we talk all things business, real estate, entrepreneurship, and anything else I really feel like talking about. And today we are talking about a sector of real estate that is going through a lot of changes right now, and that is Airbnb. Now, a lot of people ask me about Airbnb because I have quite a few of them. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I have Airbnbs in Big Bear, California. And I love Big Bear because I love vacationing up there. It's a beautiful little city. We snowboard, we can go on the lake, we can hike. It's so different than Las Vegas, and I love it. And on top of that, they've been amazing investments for me. I currently have 6 different properties that we have rented out. They make amazing cash flows. My friends use them, my family uses them, we use them. They've been awesome investments. We also have 4 other properties up there that are under construction that we're gonna add to the portfolio. So I've got quite a bit of experience with Airbnb. And unlike a lot of the Airbnb gurus you see, I actually own them all. You see, most people who teach Airbnb actually don't own them. All they're doing is leasing a property, furnishing it, and then Airbnb-ing it. And that is an easy way to get started if you don't have a lot of money, but it doesn't lead to long-term wealth. See, when you sublease a property, you don't own it. And so all you're really doing is creating a job for yourself. You're creating monthly cash flow, which is great, but there's a lot of different ways you could do that as well. You don't have to do it through Airbnb. But when you can create cash flow and gain the long-term wealth and appreciation that comes with owning real estate, well, then it becomes a really good thing. So I would say if you're looking at Airbnb, I'm not a big fan of doing the sublease and what these guys teach, but if you can own real estate and you can cash flow and it's in a great area that you like to vacation in, Airbnb is great. Now, we've had this pandemic and there's a lot of people who are struggling with Airbnb. Many cities have stopped allowing Airbnb and have stopped tourism in general. And so Airbnb owners were figuring out what to do, how to scramble through that situation. So I just wanted to give you my perspective as a business owner on what I did to get through. So in Big Bear, California, where I have my Airbnbs at, they banned it. And I had a choice to make. I had to figure out what I was going to do to get through it. All of those properties I have are leveraged, meaning they have mortgages. Now look, in my situation, I did have a lot of cash reserves. I could withstand it, no issue, even if I wasn't getting rent. But I always want to be prepared for worst case scenario. And like many people, I decided I wanted to do mortgage forbearance. And for those of you who don't know, basically mortgage forbearance is delaying your payments. It's not like they're forgiven. You will have to pay them back at some point. You can delay them and not make them since you don't have any rent coming in or you have some type of income loss. In my case, the income loss was not being able to use them and Airbnb them. So I applied for mortgage forbearance. After about a month, I saw a Meet Kevin video where he had talked about many people were doing mortgage forbearance and actually getting their credit dinged. The banks were still marking it on their credit that they were in forbearance, even though they weren't supposed to. So I said, you know what? I don't need the cash that bad, so I might as well just pay them all, not deal with messing up my credit over trying to save a few bucks. So I stopped it, paid my payments, and have been making them ever since. So Kevin, if you're watching this video, I appreciate you for putting your video out because I was one of the guys telling people, take mortgage forbearance. There's nothing wrong with it. They can't hurt you. And of course, the banks ended up hurting people. They ended up dinging their credit and doing all these things. So it is what it is. Never trust the banks. So I had to figure out, what do I want to do now that I can't Airbnb them? My initial thought was, this is probably only going to last for 2 months, maybe 3 months max. So in the worst case scenario, I do absolutely nothing and I pretty much eat it on those months. I'll say that it actually did happen at the perfect time. Big Bear, like many Airbnb markets, is very seasonal. The winters are huge. We make at least 50% of our revenue just in the winter because everyone wants to go there, snowboard, play in the snow. It's a log cabin type feel. It's amazing. So if this would have happened in the winter, we would have been in trouble. The fact that it happened in March, April, May was great. That's actually the slowest time of the year in Big Bear. So that was okay for me. If it was gonna happen at any point, this was the best time. I would have been really upset if we weren't able to do it in the winter. And who knows, if they lock us down again during the winter because they think something's gonna happen, then I'll have to figure out a new strategy, but I'm not planning for that. Anyways, what I ended up doing was I reached out to a couple of my realtor friends up there and I said, do you know anyone that wants to rent on a monthly basis? They had rental restrictions for Airbnb, but if you wanted to rent to somebody for over a month, there was no restriction against that. And after reaching out to a few people, luckily my realtor came to me and said, I actually know this guy who has a company that needs to rent for a month, and he actually needs 2 homes. Apparently his company is helping build this roller coaster type deal in Big Bear. It worked out great for him because in Big Bear, there's such a shortage of rental housing. Everyone likes to put their properties on Airbnb because it pays so well, so there's pretty much no regular rental inventory. There's also not very many hotels in Big Bear. It's a small town, and so I don't know how he would have done it without us, but it ended up benefiting both of us. I rented my 2 biggest units to him for 2 months, just at a fixed price. It was less than what I would have made on Airbnb if things were normal. As far as numbers go, I rented it to him for $3,000 a month. On normal Airbnb, I would have probably made $4,000 to $5,000 a month on those houses. But I also have cleaning fees, I have other things with that. So in reality, I probably didn't lose anything on those 2 houses. And the fact that he wanted to rent for 2 months was amazing because that's what we're anticipating the lockdown to be for. So I rented those 2 out for 2 months, and then I had my other 4. Now, unfortunately, I could not find anyone for my other 4, so I ended up having to just bite the bullet on those ones. I paid the mortgages without getting any rent, and it kind of just is what it is. That's what happens with rentals, guys. Whether it's an Airbnb or a long-term rental, you're gonna have vacancy. And you don't plan for vacancy like that with Airbnb. You don't plan on a whole city being shut down, but that's why it's always important to have reserves for any type of rental you have. Doesn't matter if it's long-term or short-term. So in the market that I'm in Big Bear, it eventually opened back up after 2 months. And once it opened up, let me tell you, it was crazy. Things were renting like gangbusters. We were getting booking, and it was nuts. I've had plenty of friends from Vegas wanting to go up there, and I can't even give them a cabin because we're fully booked. It was like immediate once we were able to open back up. People were so pent up, ready to get out of their home, that they wanted to go somewhere in the woods. They wanted to just get away from everything. With all the drama in the world, with all the restrictions, to get out in nature was what they wanted to do. And Big Bear's the perfect place for almost anyone in Southern California, Vegas, or Arizona. And that was one of the big reasons I invested in Big Bear, because I felt like it was kind of a recession-proof market. My opinion is, if there's a recession, people stop doing expensive things. They stop going on the expensive vacations, like going to Europe, going to Disneyland. Oh my gosh, it's so expensive to go there. But people don't stop vacationing when there's a recession. They will still do it, but they'll opt for something cheaper, like Big Bear. You know why Big Bear's so great? You can go hike for free. You can go play in the snow for free. You can go experience nature for free. You can go to the lake for free. Going to Big Bear for a vacation costs significantly less, and you will get an amazing experience. So that's why I felt like it's a recession-proof investment, as long as I'm able to actually Airbnb them, which wasn't the case these last 2 months, but still, in the long run, that investment has paid me so well. And even with this little hiccup, it's still gonna be an amazing investment. So to summarize, as an Airbnb owner, yes, these last couple of months sucked. I had to get resourceful. I had to figure out how we could salvage these months. I had to figure out, is this something I wanna do going forward, long term? If there's a second wave of this, how do I prepare better for it? But I gotta say, with the unexpected, we ended up doing pretty well. And that's because we had good cash reserves and we got resourceful. I know that there are plenty of owners who have not experienced what I've experienced. They didn't have reserves. Maybe they were in their good season, and losing this income in April and May was very, very tough. I know there are many owners of Airbnbs that want to sell because of this. They don't want to deal with this ever again. And that's okay. Just like there are landlords who don't want to own long-term rentals, there are people who would kill to have those rentals. It all just depends on your perspective. But one thing I do know is whether you have long-term or short-term rentals, there's always risk. So you gotta always have reserves. But if you're able to keep those properties and cash flow, you will win in the long run. Remember that. Owning real estate always wins. So I've got a question for you guys as the audience. How was your rental portfolio impacted? If you don't have a rental portfolio yet, tell me in the comments below how it's impacted your thoughts. Do you even want one anymore? Would you go long-term or would you go short-term? What are you thinking now? I'm really curious to see. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're feeling a little risky, tap that little bell button and it'll notify you anytime I put a new video out. And do not forget to follow me on all my social media channels. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video and thank you for supporting this channel. If you want to get into real estate investing and you don't know where to begin, I want you to go to futureflipper.com. You can find it in the link below. Over there, we have a ton of different resources and products, no matter what your skill level is, no matter what your budget is. we can definitely help you out and point you in the right direction. We've got a ton of free resources for you guys. You can download my contracts for free. You can get my book for free. You can go to our Facebook group for free. The opportunities are endless. If you're really ready to take it to the next level, you can buy my online course, or you can even be coached directly by me. I love working with all my students and helping them get to the next level. If you're not sure what to do, just go to futureflipper.com and apply now. My membership director will get in touch with you and figure out what's the best program for you, whether it's free or not. Everyone's at a different spot in their life, so even if it's a free product, we're gonna tell you what we think is best for you right now. So go check it out, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks.